Well, good morning, viewers. Today we have a 2017 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk, and it's here for a number of warning lights on. Now, I went to just bring it in. It's been sitting for a couple of weeks in my yard, and the battery was too flat to start it, so a bunch of warning lights are likely on because of low voltage. I had to boost it. I had to put a booster on it to bring it in. But the ABS light and traction control light were on, and so is the MIL, the money light. And the parking brake warning light is flashing, and the parking brake indicator is flashing. Now, the rest of the story is there's an oil leak on the rear differential assembly, and it's been looked at by the dealership, and they quoted them somewhere in the neighborhood of $17,000 to fix this thing. So we're going to start out with a network scan of all controllers and take a note of what codes it has to offer. So before I lift it in the air, I noticed the rear wheels are cambered in, which probably indicates that the bushings in the rear knuckles are shot. You can see that wheel leaning in. So this is a new vehicle ID. The scanner's automatically detected it. 2017 Jeep. I believe we can do a network scan with it running. If not, I'll shut it off and put a battery charger. It just detected the VIN. Now, why is it saying it's not detecting it? Whatever. Display fitted systems. Let's do a code scan. Pre-scan. And I suspect lots of low battery voltage. Electronic park brake failure. Implausible data received from brake system control module. Implausible right front wheel speed signal received. Now, I have no idea. This is in the engine control computer, but their network codes are implausible data. Implausible vehicle speed signal received. Invalid data from power steering control module. Steering wheel position sensor, left front wheel, right front wheel. Plausible data received from radio. Lots of network communication issues, likely due to the fact that the battery was depleted. When I tried to start it, it just clicked. Stable system voltage is so important on these vehicles. So we're not going to get overly carried away with all of these fault codes. We're going to do a network code clear. Now, on Chrysler products, you have to do that key on engine off. Let's go back. The scanner keeps a record of all these codes, so clear all codes read by code scan. Some codes may not clear if the engine is running. Please run clear codes, key on engine off. So I'm going to do that. I got a battery on it, so we can keep an eye on the battery voltage on the scanner as well. Okay, so I got the key in the run position. My battery voltage is at 12.8. And we get to listen to my compressor cycle. Oh, this is painfully slow. "24 modules. So I'm going to start it up again and see what comes on. The ABS and traction control messages are on. So let's do another scan. Well, that was quick. So this is right front wheel speed sensor circuit out of range, active, pending, and stored. That's the code of concern. The rest of them are all secondary. So we got some wiring problems or a speed sensor problem. Implausible data received from the ABS, electronic park brake actuator correlation, active, pending. Okay, so visual inspection is in order to see what is going on with the left front speed sensor, I think it was. Right front speed sensor. Okay, we'll put it up in the air and have a look. So we're underneath this vehicle doing a visual, and if you look up there, wheel speed sensor wires on the harness side of the connector are broken. So that's an obvious problem. We'll have to fix that, or try to fix that. This is the differential leak here. Appears to be coming from on top of the differential. There's the differential module up there, way up here. Now nobody's checked the fluid level to see how low it actually is. It is leaking for sure, but if it's not that low on fluid, I would probably recommend to just top it up and keep an eye on the level, considering the cost to fix this assembly. Dropping this assembly is not convenient. These CV shafts are likely seized on the end of the splines, because the dealer had basically called everything, the entire differential, both axle shafts, rear knuckles because the bushings are worn, rear brakes because you got to take them all apart. But let's fix the ABS problem. What's going on here? I guess this thing has been oiled a couple times, so that's probably undercoating oil. Well, let's pull this wheel off and have a look at that ABS wire. So there you can see the wire has been broken by something. We're just going to splice this wire. There's enough wire here to attach to. We're going to splice it with an uninsulated butt splice and heat shrink and see if that fixes the ABS problem. So here's what I used to splice that wire. These are 22 to 24 gauge, 22 to 26 gauge wire butt splices. They're seamless, and a piece of heat shrink tubing. This stuff here, 3-to-1 with the epoxy resin inside. So I put a piece of loom over top of the wire, tie wrapped it to the clip, and re-secured it. So we're going to scan it now and see if the code's gone to history. So we're going to do a clear all codes, read by code scan. I've got the clean battery charger on it, set at 13.5 volts. See if it gets rid of the codes out of everything. I heard the parking brake actuate. Okay, says it cleared the codes, but let's do another code scan. Actually, I'm going to start it up. So the ABS light is still on. Let's go back into the ABS and see what's going on, unless that wire is compromised someplace else. Right front wheel circuit out of range. Well, I better look at it a little closer. Not out of the woods yet. So I unplugged the connector and I noticed it wasn't completely seated. I hadn't disconnected it when I repaired the wire. I deoxidized it and put some Stabilitin 22A on it. Let's see if the code's gone to history. Let's clear codes and see what happens. I hear a ding inside. Active, pending, stored. Circuit out of range. Oh, I hate this. We could run wires across to the other side and see if the problem follows the sensor. I gotta think about this. So I did a light tug test on the other wire that I didn't repair, and it was broken right where it goes into the connector. So now we're gonna have to see if we can source that connector. Damn. So that plug was never out of there for a long time. So it's down to about right here, according with, I put a little dipstick in there to check it. So it hasn't lost that much fluid. I'm gonna top it off. These bushings are available as a kit from Dorman. I'll put a link in the description or part number for them. So we're gonna discuss that with the customer about changing just the bushings, because the knuckle is a pain in the ass. Hopefully we can change just the bushings, this bushing here, that bushing up there, and this bushing. There's 3 bushings in the kit, and it's about 140 bucks, which is a lot cheaper than $650 for the knuckle assembly from the manufacturer. And hopefully less work to change, because I can probably not disturb the camber here. Although this thing isn't that rusty, considering. Yeah, we're gonna try and just change the bushings. So there's the pigtail. Make sure you don't mix up the wires. Take note of the position. The 2 wires on this pigtail are both white, so connect them according to their location. So as I said, the 2 wires on the pigtail are white. So I used those seamless uninsulated butt sleeves and heat shrink. We're going to put a piece of loom over this and connect it and see if the code goes to history now finally. So we're going back in the ABS. Let's clear codes. Are you sure? Yes. I heard a ding. No codes present. Let's look at wheel speed sensor signals. Wheel speed left front. Right front must be on the right side. Wheel speed right front. I'm going to turn the wheels. Turning the left front. Actually, it's turning both sides because of the differential. So let's do a network code clear now. Speed sensor is working. Clear all codes read by code scan. Key on, engine off with a battery charger on it set at 13.5 volts. Shows 13.3 here. As long as they keep the oil level and the differential full, it's not going to blow up. There's no metal on the magnet in there. Let's do a post scan now. Oh, now we have an electronic park brake system failure. What's going on with that? That's probably what the ding was that I heard. Implausible data received from electronic park brake module. Park brake actuator correlation. C10EC -00. Are we finished yet? Yeah, we're finished now. Electronic park brake, C10EC. No troubleshooter in the snap-on scanner. Active, pending, and stored. Okay, well, let's look up the criteria for setting this code. So I'm back on Identifix, and I've done a keyword search for C10 Edward Charlie and electronic park brake module and flashing and electronic park brake module connector. Let's see, not working. I only have that code. Let's see what the criteria is for setting the code. When the ignition is on and no system under voltage or over voltage condition present. When the electric park brake module detects that the parking brake state differs or is unknown from the left rear electric park brake actuator to the right rear electric park brake actuator. Perform any service bulletins, turn the ignition on with the scan tool, record, cycle, and ignition on, press and hold the brake pedal, release, pull the up, set the electronic park brake, push the EV switch down to release, cycle ignition with scan tool, read the codes, see if it's still active. Well, we're going to do this. Well, I'm activating it, and now it went on and off. Maybe it was just because of low battery voltage. Let's see if the code has gone to history. Let's go back into the computer here. Back. Clear codes. Remember, this thing had a dead battery when I went to bring it in. So that could account for all kinds of anomalies. Let's go back and have a look at it. That seems to have fixed it. So with the scan tool, read DTCs. No, the condition or conditions that originally set the DTC are not present at the time. Yeah. Water intrusion, corrosion, pushed out bent terminals, correct. Doesn't mention anything about low battery voltage, but battery power is critical for everything. So let's go back into the controller and do another network code clear, because that sets codes in multiple controllers. Okay, so we cleared codes out of 24 controllers. I'm going to start it up. Well, I did get a message on the dash that stop-start system is unavailable. Service stop-start system. Let's see if there's any codes now. Now, why didn't they erase that code from the engine control? Sometimes that network code clear doesn't clear all the codes. We'll see if there's a code in the park brake system again. I'm going to look to see if the lights are blinking on the park brake. No, they're not. There's no message on the dash. No, that code didn't clear in the engine control module. There's no warning lights on except for the message about service stop-start system. I wonder if there's any codes related to that. I think this has got two batteries, one for the stop-start, one for the main battery, I think. Okay, so for whatever reason it didn't clear the code in the ECM. Got to do that key on, engine off. I had the key on, not running. Okay, let's clear the code. And let's read the codes. Yay. So this caliper's not releasing. I can hear the motor running, but it's not releasing. So it needs a caliper, and if you're going to do a caliper, you might as well do them both. I think the motor's running anyways. I can hear it, but brake pads are about 40% left. This one's working, but often change them in pairs. Well, I'll discuss the repairs with the customer.